I'm back to do another booktube video I'm really excited about. My last video was teaching you guys some of the Braille alphabet from A to E. I'm going to break it up a little bit. I will definitely come back to the alphabet, but before I do, I'm really interested with fellow booktubers. You know, what made you love the written word? What got you to this journey of loving books, loving the particular authors you like to read? I'm more interested in the story and the journey behind what you read instead of seeing a whole bunch of book hauls of things that you may not even be passionate about. What's the reason why you picked up that book? So today I'm going to tell you kind of like a story time of how I love the written word and how it really just changed the course of my life. And this is way before I got diagnosed with my eye condition in my mid-30s. I'm going way back when I was a little tot. But anyway, my earliest memory, obviously my parents read to me all the time from my earliest memory. But me actually sitting down and trying to read myself, I remember I was in preschool. I wasn't in kindergarten yet because I was extremely, really excited to start kindergarten because I went to a Catholic school for my kindergarten years. And I was just really excited to wear the little skirt and everything, and I knew I wasn't there yet. So I remember sitting down with my dad, and he had a collection of Charlie Brown dictionaries. And it was so funny, my husband helped me find this on the line, and I'll insert a picture right here. These were the actual dictionaries. Me and my dad went from A all the way through Z, learning every single word, memorizing what the meaning was, learning how to speak, learning how to articulate. So when I went into kindergarten, I knew all these words in my head, and I knew practicing my letters. I mean, before homeschooling was a thing, my dad and mom was on it. I was homeschooled. I was prepared for kindergarten. Heck, I was prepared for like 4th grade, to be honest, at 6 years old. But that's one of my fondest memories, was of those Charlie Brown dictionaries. Now, growing up, obviously, I read like everybody else did. I read the Anna Green Gabriel series. Laura Ingalls was my jam. I absolutely loved Little House on the Prairie. I was obsessed with the TV show when I was younger. I lived a really sheltered life. I didn't really have that many friends. I just stayed in. I come from a really big family, so my family was my friends and my books were my friends, and I had a really wild, vivid imagination. So throughout those years, I read like Wrinkle in Time, all those popular children books that, you know, every child usually reads. Another book that I remember, I was in 7th grade, and I was totally I was awkward, definitely wasn't part of the popular group, which I was fine with. And I remember this young man was, looking back at it now, obviously had a crush on me, but I had no idea. My head was always in the books. And I remember walking down the hall with this book. I didn't have a jacket over it. My teacher, I used to stay in her classroom all the time, my English teacher, and she told me I could have it. So the name of that book was The Island of Blue Dolphin. I absolutely love that book. I've read it so many times since then, and up till I no longer can read because of my visual impairment. But anyway, but I love that book. And I remember it because it was like my moment of turning of age, of becoming from a little girl to like a young adult. You know, I remember carrying that book with me all the time and really in touch with the person in the story, the young woman that was going through everything in that book. I really connected with her, and I really understood what she was going through. And I don't know, that passion really arose with me. And you know what? The young man, we became really good friends, and I don't know, I remember that book vividly out of all the landscape of other books I read when I was in middle school. Moving from that book, my English teacher recommended me to be a volunteer at our neighborhood library. So I got an opportunity because I was a really good student and I was very diligent to volunteer at our local library off of Call Road. If you live in Columbus, Ohio, you know where that is. It's now closed, it's no longer there. But I was a volunteer where we used to have the catalog, the Dewey system. If you wanted to find a book, you go through this big like little cabinet with little cards with the name of the title of the book, the author, and it had a Dewey system on it where we cataloged the books. And I was responsible for that. So all the books that got returned, I would make sure they got shelved in the right, yeah, this is me in middle school. Yeah. That was my life, and I was extremely happy with it. I wouldn't change a thing. But what changed my life, being able to handle the books and love them and care for them, and the smell of it, and the pages, and the different book art that authors or the publishers decided to use, I was really enriched that world, and I loved it. Books became my world, and I thought I wanted to be a librarian when I grew up. And the cool thing about it is that the head librarian there that I used to volunteer for every weekend when I was in 7th grade into my 8th grade, she recommended to my parents a scholarship to a private school that I never heard of. And that again pivoted my life to totally new experiences and opened up my landscape of things that I didn't even know was possible. I went to a Columbus public school. And if you know anything about the Columbus school system, it is struggling. Even back then, it was struggling a lot. And I was in an advanced class for middle school students to get an opportunity to go to the Ohio State University campus to learn about colleges and things like that. Even at that age, I was determined to be something. And that's what books meant to me, is to be able to learn and be something more than what people perceived me to be just because of what neighborhood I lived in. So I was really, really determined, and for the librarian to bring that another piece into my life. So the scholarship was called ABC, another better chance, or something like that, scholarship to Columbus School for Girls. I got the scholarship, and I started my private school career at CSG. I am a uni. I graduated as an 8th grader, and I went back to the plaid skirts and all that good things. And that really changed my life. And even with that, it was a culture shock for me because I was in a school where at 16, majority of the young women there got their first car. So I was amongst something of affluence that I didn't understand, but I read about. But we were so small and close, I decided to learn Latin, and college was a real thing for me. I got accepted at NYU, but I went to a smaller liberal college called Connecticut College. It opened so much things for me. So that's the passion I have about books, because books turned my dreams and my passion into something real. So I want to pass it on to other booktubers. What is your passion? What was your journey for you to love the books that you now read? What gives you the motivation to read 10, 5, 20, whatever books a month? What led you to where you are now? That's the story I want to hear. That's the story that I can connect with other YouTubers on. So if you want to share, please definitely share this video with others. Definitely do a video like this, and I'll definitely watch it and listen to it, because that's what I like to hear. I like to hear the feeling and the emotion behind it instead of just seeing a stack of books about, I gotta read it. No, you don't. You only gotta read what you love. Period. Bye, guys.